Something strange is happening in Canada right now, a country known for peace, politeness, and calm streets. Suddenly feels like it's on the edge of something big. The skies are turning against people, the ground's giving way, and nature is angry. This isn't your typical weather story. This is chaos, real chaos. And if you think it's just bad luck, wait till you hear what really went down. The night everything changed. It started in Regina, Saskatchewan on September 12, 2025. A quiet evening that looked like every other one. Families walking dogs, kids playing outside, golden light pouring over rooftops. But as the sun dipped, the clouds rolled in. And not just any clouds. These things looked alive. Heavy, black, and crawling across the sky like something out of a nightmare. People stopped to stare. Some even pulled out their phones, thinking it was just a cool weather moment. But then came the first sound, a faint tapping on windows, small bits of ice, harmless at first. Then it got louder, heavier. The tapping turned into hammering. Within minutes, the city was being pummeled by hail the size of golf balls, then baseballs. Some are even bigger. Each one slammed into cars, rooftops, and people's homes with the force of a bullet. Glass shattered. Sirens went off. The streets sounded like a war zone. It wasn't raining anymore. It was chaos falling from the sky. One woman, Mara Jensen, said she thought her roof would cave in. Her skylight exploded, and she had to grab her kids and hide in the hallway. She said, "The walls were shaking. It felt like the storm was trying to get in." And when you hear that, when you picture a mother clutching her kids while her home sounds like it's under attack, you realize this wasn't just bad weather. This was fear, real fear. But just when people thought the storm couldn't possibly get worse, the sky decided to prove them wrong. The lightning that split the sky, the hail didn't stop, it just changed tempo, and suddenly lightning began to rip through the clouds, not in single strikes, but in waves. The entire horizon flashed white over and over like someone flipping a massive switch in the sky. Power lines blew, transformers exploded in blue bursts that lit up the night like fireworks. And then, blackout. Entire neighborhoods vanished into darkness except for the flickering light of lightning bouncing off the streets. Firefighters rushed through flooded streets to rescue people trapped in their cars. Power crews worked through lightning to cut live wires whipping across the ground. Over 7,000 homes lost power that night. For hours, it was like the city was trapped in a nightmare it couldn't wake from. People stood by their windows, helpless, just watching nature unleash its fury. The sound of thunder rolled endlessly, shaking homes and setting off car alarms. Every few seconds, the sky flashed again, revealing streets littered with broken branches, shattered glass, and flooded yards. It wasn't just a storm. It felt personal, like the sky itself was angry. Some locals said they'd never seen lightning that violent before. It didn't just strike. It lingered, crawling across the clouds like veins of fire. Pets were hiding, alarms blaring, and families huddled together hoping it would end soon. The air smelled like wet concrete and burning wires. Even after the storm finally passed, you could still hear the hum of distant sirens echoing through the night. And for many, sleep wasn't an option. The chaos outside had burned an image in their minds, a reminder of just how small we really are when nature decides to fight back. But while Regina was being beaten by ice and lightning, something even worse was happening hundreds of miles away. The flood, same night, different province, Steinbach, Manitoba. It started as light rain, nothing unusual, but within an hour, it was like the sky just opened up. 5 inches of rain in 6 hours. Streets turned into rivers. Basements filled up like bathtubs. People tried to save what they could, dragging furniture upstairs, stuffing towels under doors, carrying pets to higher floors. One woman even kayaked down her own street to bring food to her disabled daughter. Imagine that, rowing past half-submerged mailboxes and cars just to reach your kid. And the craziest part? It didn't even stop. The rain just kept coming, wave after wave, while firefighters and volunteers formed human chains to reach stranded families. When I watched the footage, it didn't even look like Canada anymore. It looked like a disaster movie. People standing on rooftops, waving flashlights, trying to get the attention of rescue boats. Experts later said it was one of the worst floods in the town's history. But for the people who lived it, it wasn't history. It was trauma. And for many, the real nightmare came the next morning, when they realized what the storm had done to their livelihoods. Outside the cities, it was supposed to be harvest season. Months of work, planning, and hope. And then, in a single night, it was gone. Farmers woke up to silence. No birds, no wind, just destruction. Fields of canola, wheat, and barley were flattened or ripped apart by hail and flood. The golden landscapes that should have been glowing under autumn light were now gray mud pits. One farmer, Derek Martins, walked through what used to be his canola field. "We were days away from harvest," he said quietly. "Now there's nothing." That hit hard. You could see it in his face. Not just the loss of income, but the heartbreak. Because farming isn't just a job. It's your life, your rhythm, your pride. And when the sky decides to take that from you, there's nothing left to do but watch. Insurance experts said losses could top $60 million. But the real cost, the sleepless nights, the families sitting at kitchen tables, staring at mud where their future used to grow. When you think about it, storms don't just destroy land, they destroy memories. And that's something you can't rebuild. But as dawn finally broke and the skies cleared, people started to notice something deeper. This wasn't just a freak night of bad luck. This was a warning. The wake-up call. The next morning, Regina looked like a war zone. Broken glass glinted in the sunlight. Cars crushed, trees ripped apart, streets littered with debris. In Steinbach, the water was finally receding, but what it left behind was pure destruction. 2 cities, 2 completely different disasters, but one single night. That's when people started asking, what's happening to Canada's weather? Experts say the answer isn't complicated. It's the climate itself. The atmosphere is warmer now, which means it holds more energy and moisture. So when storms hit, they hit harder. Hail that used to come once a decade, now it's showing up every year. Floods that were once considered once-in-a-century events, they're becoming seasonal. And it's not just Canada. Wildfires are tearing through California. Floods are drowning Texas. Hurricanes are leveling the Gulf Coast. It's like nature's balance has snapped, and it's letting us know. For the people who lived through that night, this wasn't just science, it was survival. The sound of hail smashing against their homes, the darkness after the lights went out, the silence when it was finally over. The calm after the chaos. Today, the skies over Saskatchewan and Manitoba are calm again. The streets are mostly repaired. People are trying to move on. But deep down, there's this quiet tension, because everyone knows another storm is coming. You can feel it when the wind picks up, when clouds start to gather. That little thought in the back of your mind, is this it again? And maybe that's the scariest part. Not the storm itself, but the waiting. The knowing that nature doesn't need permission to strike again. So the real question isn't if another night like that will come, it's when. And when it does, will we be ready? Because what happened in Canada wasn't just weather, it was a warning. A sign that calm skies can turn into chaos in seconds. The world keeps spinning, people keep rebuilding. But somewhere up there, above those soft white clouds, the next storm is already forming. And when it hits, we'll remember this night. And you can't really blame people for feeling uneasy. Every thunderclap now makes hearts skip a beat. Every gust of wind feels heavier than before. It's like the memory of that night is still hanging in the air, unseen but never forgotten. Families who lost power for days now keep emergency kits ready. Farmers keep checking the sky more often. Even kids who once loved playing in the rain now rush indoors the moment thunder rolls. What's haunting is how fast everything changed. One day life was normal. The next, entire towns were underwater and power lines were ripped apart like paper. You start to realize just how fragile life really is. We build, we plan, we feel safe, and then nature reminds us who's in charge. Maybe that's why even during the calm, there's a silence that feels different, heavier, because deep down, people know this isn't the end of the story. It's just a pause before the next chapter begins. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing updates. Thanks for watching.